Hello, my name is Seth Cram. I am a software engineer and the author of Book Club. Book Club is a blogging or creative writing platform that I'll be your tour guide to today. As we can see on my screen here, I'm currently on the home page, and if we scroll down a little bit, we can see a preview of all the posts that are currently on the site. So within these previews, we see that each post is given a reputation score, as well as a title and a couple of categories that it could be searched for or sorted under. Additionally, we see the post username or the author's username that created this post and the date that they created it at. And then there's just a small description, couple line description of the contents of the post. All the posts we see right now on this homepage were created with a fake data generation tool that can be learned about further in the GitHub's README. And if we keep scrolling down, we can see how the posts are currently sorted by reputation score. So if we go down further, the reputation should drop further. And as we can see here, the Fantastic Cat post has a score of 500, while the Handcrafted Fish is only 472. And these have different badge colors because the better a post is scored or received by the community, the more reward or significance is given to the badge color. So the highest badge color is blue, and then we have gold coming in second. And then if we go down here to the pagination buttons at the bottom to see the rest of the posts on the website, we can go all the way to the end here, and we can see a bunch of test posts that I've created that don't really have any post title picture like the previous ones have, and they all have 0 score with this black badge color. So that's the default, and this is what you'll see when a post is created for the first time. So returning to the home page, I guess it's also worth noting that when using the pagination buttons, it will tell you what page you've navigated to, which can be quite useful if you go to another tab and then forget to return, or forget where you were at when you return to Book Club. So let's go back to the home page once again, and we'll scroll down, and an important thing to point out is how the website performs when there is different screen resolutions. So right now what we're seeing is the display on a laptop or a desktop computer, but if I were to shrink the display, it would mimic the screen size of a tablet or a mobile phone. So we can inspect this here and go into mobile phone view, and this is one particular mobile phone. We'll go to an iPhone, and we can see here the home page is practically the same. Instead of 3 across on the post previews, we now have 1 post, and we can just scroll through them all. So this is for a mobile phone, and if we go over to hypothetically a iPad, so a tablet, we now have the posts 2x2. And this is essentially to make sure that all users, regardless of the device type, are able to properly look at the contents of Book Club and create their own posts and look at other people's posts. And as we can see here, the top bar also changed, which we'll get into later. This is the iPad view, and instead of the top bar being all splayed out like it was before, we now have this drop-down menu. So we'll return to the desktop view, and we'll scroll down here and go to a particular post. So if we click on the title of a post, it will bring us to that post details, and additionally on that post detail page We can see a lot of the information we saw in the post preview, such as the author's username, the score, categories. We can also see the rest of the post description. Now, this post description was generated with just a couple lines, so it doesn't provide that much more background, and it's kind of nonsensical. But on the right hand side here, we can see the information about the author of the post, which is important so we can attribute how credible we think this post is, or this blog post is. So within this user sidebar, we'll see more of it on the rest of the website, so it's important to go over. So we have an about section with the user's username, as well as their personal reputation score. So posts have reputation scores, but users also have their own reputation scores. There is a biography, and these categories are all of the categories that the user has posted blog posts under on the book club website. So this is posted under area and fake. Those are the categories that are used. And this user has created 5 posts linked under the fake category, and 4 under area and 4 under because. Additionally, we have the follow at section, which is a couple social media icons that if we want to see this user's or the author's presence on other social media sites, we can click on those. And if we scroll down the page, we can see that there are a variety of comments left on this post, and these were also created through fake data generation, so they're fairly nonsensical, but they fairly well illustrate the point and the purpose of having comments. So different people can comment on this post, and their comments can receive their own reputation scores, and these comments are then sorted by the highest reputation score. And this reputation score can be contributed through users voting up or down on comments and posts. We don't see these voting icons right now because we are not currently logged in. At the top right, we can see there's a login and register button. We'll visit those pages later, and we'll compare and contrast how the website looks when we're logged in compared to when we're just a guest user. So we can see that the comments don't exceed a depth of 2. This is to more easily visually digest the information. So if a comment is replied to too many times, it won't branch out this big tree. Essentially, we can see at the bottom that there are the less highly rated comments down here. And once again, it's important to point out how the website interacts or looks like under different screen resolutions. So let's go check that out. So under tablet view, we can see how it pretty much looks the same. All the comments have had their size kind of pushed further in for a more uniform look, but otherwise the post looks pretty similar. And we'll look at it under an iPhone view as well, so a mobile phone view. Now we see the author's sidebar user profile information is no longer on the right hand side. This is because we currently just don't have the space to display the author information along with the post information. So essentially that author information has now been shunted all the way down to below the comment section. So it's placed there because it's not viewed as important as the rest of the post contents and what people think of the post. And from here, we'll return to the desktop view, and we'll look at, as you may have noticed when I've been hovering over some of these things I've been talking about, such as the username, categories, and the user categories, these are actually links. So if we just click the area category, it should show us all posts that are linked under the area category. So we can see the search results here. We're searching for the category of area, And as we can see here, all of these posts are linked under the area category. And let's see how many we have. Looks like we have multiple pages of results that are currently under the area category. And this slow loading of images only happens with fake data. We can test it with real data and it will operate much more smoothly. But once we use the pagination buttons, we can still look at our search results and it will also tell us the page, which is fairly useful. So we'll return to the home page and we can once again return to the post we were just at, handcrafted fish. And if we select the author username, so this is Lena60, it will search all of the posts by Lena60, so it will show us all of their posts they've created, and it will also show us their user sidebar profile once again. I realize you haven't been able to see the user sidebar profile very well since it's been hiding behind my background. So I'll try to do my best to shift it up a little bit. So we can select these categories and it'll actually show us all the posts that are created by this author and that are linked under this category. So he only has one post that is fake but isn't either of the two categories. So let's try to find that post. Okay, so the handcrafted fish post we were actually looking at is not linked under the because category. So once we click because, we should no longer see handcrafted fish. No handcrafted fish. Perfect. So from here you kind of get the gauge of how the website functions and is usable by users. But let's once again look at how this page behaves for mobile phone users. So once again, the posts are just put in a single column instead of 3 columns. The user sidebar is put at the bottom again. And going back to an iPad, the same happens as in mobile phone, but now we have the 2 columns of posts. And from here, we can go to the right page. This is where users will be able to create their own posts and put them on Book Club. And we can see that the right page actually redirected us to the register page because we can't create a post without creating an account. So we'll do that shortly, but first let's go to the About page. Essentially what the About page is it's just information about Book Club that has been collected over the life cycle of the development of the project. So there's a short blurb up here at the top, but there's also a couple embedded slideshows showing the journey of creating the Book Club writing platform. So first there's the proposal, and then there's the prototype and the minimum viable product. So you can look through these if you're a developer looking to contribute to Book Club and kind of want to understand where it's come from and kind of the architecture of what's going on. Additionally, Book Club is open source and accepting contributions, so there's a link to the GitHub page that we can see right there. And there's also a link to the issues page if anyone wants to create a bug report, if they encounter such bugs, or they would like a new feature implemented. So that pretty much encompasses the entirety of Book Club not logged in. So the last thing that we'll look at before we log into an account is how the About page looks like in the mobile phone and the tablet view. So in tablet view, the slideshows are shrunk so they can fit on the screen. That's about the only change. We'll go to mobile view and we can see that the slideshows are non-existent. This is because the slideshows aren't able to shrink small enough to fit on the mobile phone screen. So the last thing, I realized I said that was the last thing we're going to look at before logging in, but we'll look at the drop down menu And we can see here that on mobile phone view, we have all of the links that we had on the top bar previously in this burger menu. And we also have the light or dark mode switch. So we'll turn the website to light mode, and we'll go and register a new account. So this new account will have a variety of information, and let's see, we'll call it a demo account, and we'll say that it's at gmail.com, and we'll give it a strong enough password so it lets us create it. Okay, looks like I messed that up, but as we can see, it won't let us register if we don't match all the password conditions. So let's try to type this in one more time. Here we go. So we successfully registered, and I'll retype in that information so we can log in. Perfect. Okay, we are now in light mode view, so that's why the website looks differently. And now we can see at the top here that we have a My Post section that previously wasn't present. So if we go to the My Post, we can see that it's actually entirely empty, and that's because we haven't created any posts yet. So let's go to the right section and let's make a post. And this post is obviously entirely my own and isn't taken from ChatGPT whatsoever. Here we go. I just mocked up a great blog post, as we can see here. And let's see, what category does this go well with? This goes well with the travel category. So there's no travel category currently, but I can create one right now. I just press enter, there's now a travel category in the database. And what this would also go well under is, let's mark it with Antarctica. So travel into Antarctica. This is the top 10 must-visit destinations for eco-tourists in Antarctica. And in this post creation, we have a fully featured text editor provided by CK Editor. And it's been fully integrated into the website so that we can insert images using URLs. But I'm going to insert an image using one that I downloaded. So this Antarctica image, we can resize this so it looks nice. Additionally, we'll insert this horizontal bar here, and then insert a video from YouTube on more details on why you might want to travel to Antarctica. Here we can see it embedded properly. And so now we have a post and pretty well formatted. We can play around with the formatting. We can do different alignment techniques. So I'll add a secondary title here that will essentially be centered and be a larger text size than the other text. So title 2. And there's a bunch of other stuff we can do with this text editor. I'm just brushing the surface. So let's post this fantastic blog post and see what it looks like. So I just published the blog post, and we can see right away on the right hand side, we can see me as a user. Pretty minimal profile information since I haven't added any to my profile yet, but we also have the 2 categories I used to create this post. We have all the relevant post information, and we have the embedded video. So everything transferred over properly. We can see at the bottom here that I can create posts, or I can create comments now that I'm a logged in user. And I'll comment on my own post because I am shameless. And I hope you noticed, but there is currently a trash can icon and an edit icon. So if we author a post, we're able to delete it as well as edit it. So let's go to edit. We're once again brought to the text editor, and let's highlight in bold some things to make sure that we can change this properly. We can change the title, the post, pretty much everything about this. But we can only have 3 categories per post. This is for visual aesthetics, as well as just simplifying the creation process. Additionally, we can see how on these left-hand sides of these categories that we're selecting is the number of posts that have been linked to this category. So traveling to Antarctica currently have 1 since we just created these. Bicycle doesn't have 1 yet because we haven't actually committed this change to the post, but it should after we make the change. So I'll update this change. So we see the bolding and the highlighting changed properly. And additionally, if we edit it again, Bicycle now has 1 post linked to it. Perfect. Additionally, an important thing for posts to be aesthetically pleasing is to have a title picture. So we can add that through the plus icon on the left-hand side here. We'll just reuse this image that we used down below for simplicity's sake. We can always remove it if we don't like the image, and we can add a new one. But update that again, and essentially the change looks like it took effect. So we have this title image, and we see the comment that I made previously now has these an edit and a trash can icon. So if I go to edit this, wow, this is great. Yeah, it is. And we confirm this edit, it will change it properly. So we can only do this to comments that we authored. We'll see this on a different post. But we can try to upvote or downvote our own comment, but we'll see that we need a certain reputation to cast an upvote or a downvote. And it tells you how you can get reputation. We can either create a post or a comment that other people vote very highly upon, and that will give us eventually enough reputation to vote on other people's works. And a downvote requires more reputation than an upvote, because I think it's important to recognize that this discourages bullying to an extent, because it's more difficult to make a downvote and contribute negativity than it is to contribute positivity. So moving on, we can look at the My Posts, and now this post we just created shows up pretty aesthetically pleasing with the title picture and the whole preview. And now we can go to the home page and we can look at the post we were looking at before, the handcrafted fish. So let's go to this post, and it looks like we have these upvote and downvote icons for the post now, which is good. And that should contribute to the reputation of this post, but we currently only have 0 reputation, as we can see up here on the top bar, so we can't contribute any feedback to this post besides commenting. So I can make a new comment, and that can be voted upon, or I can vote on other people's comments as we see here, or I can reply to them. So I'll reply to this comment and say, this comment doesn't make any sense, because it doesn't. It's just garbled nonsense. Perfect. Showed up well. I can edit it, I can delete it, and it references the root person that is replying to in this little reply chain we have going on here. So from here, we'll look at not creating another post, but we will look at searching through the post currently on the website. So the post that we just created is called the top 10 must visit destinations in yada yada yada. So if I use this search bar and I look for the keyword 10, it pops up. We can go to the post. But let's say I want to look for posts that contain the word Boston. Nothing shows up, but if I click enter or press this search icon, it will search all the posts by the keyword Boston, and even if they don't have it in their title, so this is in the description, it will show them up. It will make them show up. And we could have also used this search bar while we were creating, or while we were not yet logged into the book club system. I'm just illustrating it now. So from here, we pretty much looked at what a guest user can do on the website and what a logged in user can do on the website. So to kind of wrap it up, we need to look at what information the user can change about their own profile. So if we click on the little profile icon up here, we can see that we can change the user's profile icon, their username, email, biography, and their social media links. But to do this, we need to verify it with a password. So, and I misspoke earlier. We can't change their username, as we can see here. We can't type it in because it would require a cascading change throughout the website. All of their posts, comments, and votes are linked through their username. So this is very important not to cause inconsistencies, to keep the same username. So we'll select a new icon. Let's go with the mental health icon, and I'll write a short biography. I am a traveling journalist. That's it. And from here, we can add an Instagram link. We're not actually going to add one. We're just going to add some mumbo jumbo, so it shouldn't work, but it should show up the icon. And I'll try to make the change without inputting my password. So I try to make the update, and it doesn't let me. But I'll intentionally type in the wrong password, try and make the update. It will tell me that it's incorrect. So we got error messages that are working properly. When I do input the correct password, your profile has been updated. So we can see on the right hand side here with my user profile that we now have a new icon for our profile. We have a new biography, and we have the Instagram follow icon. And if we're on the settings page right now, and if we look at the settings page through a different view, so say a mobile phone view, we're on the iPhone right now, we can see that everything's the same except for the side user profile. It doesn't show us until we scroll down to the bottom. And when we go to a tablet view, everything's the same as in desktop. We can see it on the right hand side since we have enough horizontal space to fit it properly. And additionally, there is a delete account button right here that we will use later to illustrate its functionality. I could go over it in this video on essentially how when you get enough reputation, you are able to contribute to other people's posts, and once those posts reach a certain hallmark or a certain value, that essentially it will contribute back to the user's reputation score. So I have 0 right now, and how these other users got their reputation score higher is through their posts and their comments receiving high enough feedback that they were upgraded a badge color, and additionally that contributed points towards their own author credibility score, author reputation score. So with that being said, that pretty much wraps up the entirety of Book Club. If you want to see what those reputation score threshold values are to earn that reputation, it is in the About tab, and under the last slideshow here, we'll go to the end and see if we can find it here. So yeah, the badges. So the badges are allocated at 500, 150, 10, and then -1. So if you get a red badge with -1 on a post or a comment because somebody downvoted it, that will negatively impact your own profile user reputation score, and it will change your badge color to red. And you can also earn reputation through casting enough votes. But before you cast the votes, you can also earn it through creating enough comments or posts, regardless of how well they're received. This is to encourage community involvement within the users of the book club blog platform, to contribute to the content in the system. And it's good when there aren't a lot of users at the start, because if nobody is able to cast an upvote or downvote, nothing's going to be able to get done, and people won't be able to increase their reputation. And there's a lot of planning stuff and other things in these slideshows, but nothing we need to concern ourselves with right now. So we can go to this post, we'll click on it, and we can delete it, but not after showing you that the YouTube embed actually works properly.
A trip to one of the world's most extreme environments is one you'll never forget. Welcome to Mojo location of the Explorer.
Perfect. Okay, it works just fine. And first we'll delete the comment we made. So immediately disappears, which is good, very responsive. And then we will delete the website, or not the website, the post we just created. From there we'll go to my posts. We no longer see it, so it deleted properly. Then we'll go to the account we just created and we'll delete that. That's a little bit harder to verify that it was deleted, but I assure you it was. So that pretty much encompasses the book club blog writing platform. As I said before, it's open source and welcoming new contributors. It's built with the MERN stack, so MongoDB, Express, React, and Node.js. And I hope you enjoyed this presentation, and this pretty much is Book Club. Thank you.